Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the NanoBlitz podcast. My name is Ben Edelman, and I'm here with my friend and co-host, Ethan Silver. And today, it's that time of year, the big game, the Super Bowl. Wow. We've come this far, extra week of the season, and it's finally time to go through our Super Bowl predictions.
Finally. I mean, we had to wait an extra week for this. So,
yeah. We're going to sit for the two untouched Pro Bowl.
This might be, I don't know. This is like the most excited I've ever been for a Super Bowl, probably.
Really?
I don't know. Kansas City and 49ers. I don't know.
That was a good one.
And then, I don't know. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes is also really exciting. But yeah. I don't know. Something about this, the fact that it's a team that hasn't even won a playoff game in 31 years, and then a team that I've been saying is going to win the Super Bowl since the first week of the NFL. Before it, I don't know.
You've really gone with them all the way. But the question is that we'll answer shortly is, will you truly go all the way?
I mean, I hope so.
But I mean, other than that, some pretty big things have happened. One in particular, obviously there's been the head coaching hires and everything, but we'll save that for an off-season episode. But I think something big happened in the NFL world that we should probably touch on.
Ben Roethlisberger retired.
Yeah, Big Ben. Big Ben hangs it up after 17 years. What a career.
Of course, we're actually mean Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. The GOAT.
Officially retired.
The greatest quarterback to ever do it. Greatest player, probably. I mean, most accomplished for sure.
Most accomplished is not even a question. I mean,
not even a question.
He has more Super Bowls than every franchise, including the one he majority played for.
He has more Super Bowl MVPs than MVPs, and he has 3 MVPs.
He has more playoff wins than like the rest of the league combined.
Unbelievable.
No, he doesn't actually, but he has a lot of playoff wins.
I mean, this guy has like everything you could ask for in like a career. He's a 15-time Pro Bowler. But he didn't I don't even like.
He's only a 3-time All-Pro.
He's been comeback player of the year. Yeah, it was all 3 MVP years. He was an All-Pro.
That's interesting. Yeah, 3 MVPs, 7-time Super Bowl champ. Obviously, the most important statistic, along with 5 Super Bowl MVPs.
And then, obviously, in 2027, Hall of Fame, first ballot.
Yeah, 2027. Oh, yeah.
I believe that's when he's eligible.
Ben Roethlisberger is probably disappointed that he's going to have his induction overshadowed.
I mean, his retirement was overshadowed too.
Yeah, well, he doesn't deserve it. So, but the 2 MVPs that he didn't win, who was that? Who took those from him?
What? Julian Edelman and
Edelman and who?
Butler.
Oh yeah. But yeah, 5 Super Bowl MVPs. We really will never see someone like this guy again.
No, we won't.
Never. Even guys like Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is a lot more talented player. I still think he's the most talented player I've personally ever seen. But he's already kind of past that point where like he can catch up to him, in my opinion. Like I don't see him winning 6 more Super Bowls.
I mean, I don't know, but I can't see it either.
I don't think
I could honestly see Mahomes having more All-Pros, more MVPs than Brady.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I could see Mahomes winning like 4 or 5 MVPs. He's that good. But even Peyton Manning had more MVPs than Tom Brady. I think Peyton Manning had like 4.
Yeah, and that's the record currently.
That's the record, yeah. But Peyton Manning was so talented, but just I don't think anyone's ever going to equal, even if it isn't entirely on Tom Brady, no one's ever going to equal that team success, consistent team success that he's had ever. This is the league that is supposed to be the least amount of like parity, like the least amount of repeats, and he's just defied all odds.
And these next these next 20 years, you can hear people, or you're going to hear people. People are already doing it, saying that this person is the next Tom Brady. Like people are saying Joe Burrow is the next Tom Brady. It's just not happening.
Yeah, people are saying we're saying that about Mahomes.
And you're going to hear people starving. People are going to be starving to try and find someone to call the next Tom Brady.
I mean, you see this in every sport. People were doing that with Jordan for at least 20 years until LeBron really LeBron really like became like the superstar that he is.
Yeah, and exactly Tom Brady is really a once
the
in
amount of people that were called like the next Jordan in NBA is absolutely insane. There was at least 50 people whose like draft comparison was like baby Jordan or next Jordan. And in reality, same thing. The same thing is gonna happen to Tom Brady. In reality, even if Tom Brady wasn't as dominant, like athletic wise as Michael Jordan, there's never going to be someone that is the type of player that he is that has this type of success in the league ever again, especially with how the direction the league is trending in with more mobile quarterbacks, more gunslinger quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. You will never see a player of this type with it's not the fastest. He doesn't have he has a strong arm and doesn't have the strongest arm, not even the most accurate quarterback, but just always finds a way to win. You will never see a player like this again in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, for me, it's like I could only believe it until I like when I see it. No one. I really do not think anybody will ever be like Tom Brady.
And 100%. I mean, the amount of impact that this guy is probably a top three, at least in America, because I know football isn't as popular in other countries, but at least in America, this guy has to be one of the top three most famous athletes of all time.
Oh, I agree. I would say so. It's Tom Brady. I mean, everyone knows Tom Brady. Everybody.
Jeez, it just feels so unreal that it actually happened. And I feel like it wasn't as suspenseful as I would have maybe that's not the way where it's suspenseful.
I feel like no, I know what you mean. I feel like it just happened and it's just like you got to deal with it now.
It just happened. I thought he was gonna like announce it before like the season started or something, and he had like a retirement tour or something. But no, he goes out after his statistically best season ever.
Which is ridiculous.
5,316 yards, 43 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Talk about not 6 interceptions. He had 12 interceptions, but talk about the extra game all you want. This was definitely one of his best years.
I mean,
the only one that's maybe, but 2007 was probably better, the year they went undefeated, if we're being honest. But the fact that he did this at the age of 44, oh my God. And that's something we didn't even touch on. The longevity is what truly made him this great. I mean, we rarely even see people play past 40, and here he is playing to 44. He probably could have played a lot. He probably could have played a decent amount longer, if we're being honest. Because, I mean, he only really had one major injury his entire career in 2008 where he tore his ACL. But other than that, he has basically started all 16 games. That is insane. That is absolutely insane.
I mean,
the only reason he has started every single game of his career, besides the games he lost, that was suspended for the Deflategate and when he tore his ACL. Other than that, he has started every single game of his career. That is insane to me.
I mean, it's crazy. Even if we find a player that can do what Tom Brady does, like really can, I just don't think we'll ever find a player with a longevity like Tom Brady.
I don't even understand how that's possible, honestly. Like, he never had like a minor injury or anything that kept him out of a game. Like, no, it just never happened. I mean, that one major injury and nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, and then right after that injury, he came back and won Offensive Player of the Year. Or sorry, not Offensive Player of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year. It's just like Tom Brady is unstoppable. He's been unstoppable since 2001.
Yeah.
That's crazy. 20 years. We really went 20 years with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a career. Technically, I guess it's like 22 years, but we don't really count that first year. And
who would have known that his downfall was started by a young man named Braxton Berrios?
Yeah. Because of Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Who's also, what's going on with him? Is he retired yet?
I don't know, but that's for another video. We have more important matters to talk about than whatever the hell Antonio Brown is doing. We have to talk about the Super Bowl.
I mean,
the Bengals versus the Rams. Bengals coming off of that huge win last week against the Chiefs, where they were down by, how much were they down by? 18 points, and they came back. I really was so confident in that game pick last week. That was one of the most confident I've been in a game pick in a while, honestly. I really didn't think the Bengals had it in to win, but look at them proving all of us wrong, coming back from down 18 to defeat Andy Reid, who's notorious for choking in these type of situations. Literally, This team almost seemed like a replay of the Titans game a couple of years ago.
Ben, you say that you were really confident about the Chiefs pick, right?
Yeah.
And the Bengals won. Does that mean you I'm just going to get right into the juice. I'm just going to do it. Does that mean you're confident in the Bengals now? Do you think that they're going to win the Super Bowl is what I'm asking.
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot.
Who's your Super Bowl pick, Ben? Let's do it right now.
You're putting me on the spot. We got to go through the position groups first.
You really want to do that?
Yeah. I honestly.
I mean, I guess we can. I didn't know that.
I mean, for the Super Bowl, like, I like to dissect the entire game.
All right.
Like, I honestly, if I'm being honest, I haven't decided my pick yet.
You haven't decided your pick yet?
Like, I didn't come into this episode with a decided pick. I wanted to.
Maybe it's just because I really want to see the team that I am going to pick win because it's the Rams. I'm going to pick the Rams. And the reason is because obviously they're one of the best teams in the NFL. They have weapons everywhere. They have like the two best defenders, the best receiver this year. I don't know. People like to say what they want. I don't know. They have Cam Akers back, who didn't have like a great like showing, but still. And then obviously Matthew Stafford. They just have loads of talent.
Yeah, you know my opinions on Matthew Stafford.
But the main reason I am picking the Rams, and you can get mad all you want. The main reason I'm picking the Rams is because I said before the season even started that the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you have been saying that for a while. It would be I got to be honest, it would be very nice to see.
There's no way if someone else said that the Rams were going to win the Super Bowl or the Bengals were going to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year and like really believed it and stuck with it. And now we're here. There's no way they're going against what they said in the beginning of the year.
That's a good point. Yeah. I think if you've been watching this podcast for a while, you knew who Ethan was taking coming into when you clicked on this episode.
Yeah. I mean, Ben knew who I was going to take.
Yeah, I knew who you were going to take. You've gone with them for every game in the playoffs.
You can't not take the team that you have been saying is going to win the Super Bowl before the season even started.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I guess it's not like a crazy thing because a lot of people were saying the Rams were going to win the Super Bowl. And I don't know how many of those people actually believed themselves saying that, but I believe myself saying that. Because
the Rams were definitely a lot more of a favorite than the Bengals, who I recently found out today, before the season started, they had the same Super Bowl odds as the New York Jets to win the Super Bowl.
At the beginning of the season, did the Jets or the Giants have a higher chance of making the Super Bowl?
Probably the Giants.
Jeez.
So the Giants probably had a higher one than the Bengals, is what I'm saying.
Sad. Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
But I mean, when you look at the Rams, definitely one of, if not the most, in terms of pure talent, definitely one of the most talented teams. I mean, this looks like the 2016 Golden State Warriors out here. Like, seriously, look at the talent on this team. You got Matthew Stafford, who's really proved to be, I mean, not really the missing piece. I mean, they've gotten this far before with Jared Goff. Like, until Matthew Stafford wins the Super Bowl, Jared Goff has been this far before with not a similar team. I don't know, not the same team, but a similar team. I mean, Aaron Donald was there. I don't think Jalen Ramsey was there, but I mean, just look at that defense. 3 absolute superstars, 2 who are the best at what they do, and then 1 who is still an all-time great Hall of Famer who has been in these situations before in the Super Bowl. And as much as I hate to say it, we saw how that went. But yeah, it would be honestly though, it would be nice to see guys like Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey win a ring. I mean, they're already both going to make the Hall of Fame, most likely, along with Von Miller, who already has a ring and a Super Bowl MVP. But it would just be nice to see them add that to their legacy. I mean, Aaron Donald is one of the best players of our generation. I know we can't go an episode without mentioning him. You want to know why? Because he's just that good. He really is one of the most dominant. He's one of the best. He's probably the best player I've ever seen.
And Ben and I would probably have had an episode where we don't bring up Aaron Donald, but he is still in. He's still in. We have to talk about him.
Yeah, we're not going to not talk about him.
He's the best. He's the best player that is still in. Period.
I mean, yeah.
But that's it doesn't really say much because you can have all 32 teams still in, and he's still the best player.
Really, the only person I could argue that's better than him out of any position. It's very hard to compare positions, but if you're comparing positions, the only person I can really compare to him is Patrick Mahomes, and I would personally put Aaron Donald above him. I mean, you could maybe throw guys like
I don't know, Justin Tucker's pretty good.
Honestly, yeah, you could throw Justin Tucker in there. You could throw Zach Martin in there. You could throw Trent Williams in there.
Trent Williams. See, I was gonna say Trent Williams. Trent Williams is probably weirdest comparison because they're literally like opposites.
Yeah.
But they are so dominant at doing the opposite thing that it makes them so similar.
It's a shame they don't match up on each other often, even though they play twice a year.
Yeah, it's because Aaron Donald plays on the inside. And
well, yeah, I know why, but I wish it could
I know you know why, but I wish he would rush off the edge a little bit more, but whatever. And what you were saying earlier about the Rams and how they've been in this position before, I guess, yeah, but it's not like they didn't need Stafford for it. Because they had Todd Gurley, who was, I think that's 2018 was actually his offensive player of the year. So obviously there's an advantage there. I don't know. I just
feel you're forgetting one major fact. Todd Gurley absolutely sucked in the playoffs that year, and like he didn't do anything. That was like the beginning of his downfall.
But they were led to the playoffs.
I guess, but they still had to make the Super Bowl. I guess so. And Todd Gurley was like he was like really bad in the playoffs. Like he was like that was like the beginning of his. After that, he just wasn't the same player. I mean, the next year ended up being his last year in Los Angeles, and then he went to Atlanta for 1 year. Now he's not on a team. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I feel like someone should sign him. I don't feel like Todd Gurley should have zero. Like I don't know. He really didn't look good that last year. I mean, 3.5 yards per carry is not good. I mean, I guess you could say he had touchdowns, but I think I personally think honestly, this is going to be a weird opinion that I don't know why I'm bringing up right now, but I think touchdowns by running backs are a little overrated. I think people take them too much into account because I would rather have my player drive me 90 yards downfield than score a 1 yard touchdown personally. I mean, you see guys like LeGarrette Blount, who I guess he was okay, but people think he's really good because of the amount of touchdowns he scored sure it matters. I mean, Gurley, we literally saw him lose a game because he scored a touchdown. Exactly. I mean, literally look at LeGarrette Blount in 2016. He had about 1,000 yards, which is pretty good, not bad. He had 18 touchdowns because they would just use him on the 1 yard line. And yeah. he had ready. This is how you know people just don't know what they're talking about sometimes. Dude averaged how many yards per carry? He did not average a lot of yards per carry. Yeah. He averaged 3.9. Not that good. 3.9 that year. That is not great. Yeah. That's not great. But I mean, going back to the overall topic, let's just talk about the Rams for a little. I know I'm kind of giving you guys a little bit of suspense by not revealing my pick yet, but I just want to talk about the Rams for a little more, honestly. I mean, let's talk about Odell. We haven't talked about Odell yet. Oh, I know he's personally one of your favorite players. And how does this feel to see him not only finally have success in the playoffs, but to be in the Super Bowl? Honestly, it is kind of a bittersweet moment. Yeah, I was about to ask if that's how you felt about it because I love him. He's been my favorite receiver for a while. Whatever. He's not my favorite. Before Jalen Waddle came into the league. Jalen Waddle will be my favorite receiver until he retires. Yeah. Unless some guy comes out. There's no one that I know of right now in the entire football world that I could like more than Jalen Waddle. Yeah. So if Jalen Waddle busts, I'd be really upset. Because this year he was good, but let's say next year he's not as good. I'd be really upset. Yeah, but you're probably happy for Odell, right? Okay. There's always a little special. I feel like for all Giants, this goes for a lot of Giants fans. There's a little special place in my heart for Odell. Because you can't have a player like Odell on your team and he just does so much for you, even though nothing ever really happened from it, but he does so much for you. He makes 3 straight Pro Bowls his first 3 years, and he just looks like he's going to be the best receiver ever. He looked like a cornerstone of the franchise. He would look like he was about to be the best receiver ever. Actually, you can't deny his first 3 years are insane. His first 3 years, he actually looked like he was going to be the best receiver. Jeez, yeah, you're right. And then obviously injuries, and then Cleveland, and okay, I need to take a second to talk about Cleveland. So
is Cleveland is kind of in the worst spot they could possibly be in right now.
What do you mean?
Just as like a fan base, because you have Odell, who you did not want to see succeeding in LA, like really well. He's played really well in LA.
Like he's played he's been like the X factor, like for them winning some of the games.
So if the Rams were to win the Super Bowl, Cleveland would not be happy.
Yeah.
If the Bengals, their division rival, win the Super Bowl, I don't think they'd be very happy either.
Yeah, it's pretty much a lose-lose situation, but they're definitely going to be rooting for the Rams. I don't care if they being proven wrong about a player is a lot better than having your division rival winning the Super Bowl. I know how happy I was when the Falcons did what the Falcons do best. That made me very happy. I know how unhappy I was when Tom Brady and the Bucs won last year. It just hurts to see a division rival win. And Browns fans are definitely going to be rooting for the Rams, even with Odell on the team.
Thank God my favorite team is in the worst division in football.
Yeah.
Are they the worst division of football anymore?
No, it's the Titans division.
Yeah,
it's the
probably
AFC South.
not. Yeah, you've got the Texans, the Colts, who didn't make the playoffs, even though they had the most Pro Bowlers, which is hilarious. Then Jaguars. Jaguars is going to be a team I don't want to talk about right now because we're going to probably have to talk about them a lot post.
Yeah.
Because that's
going to be interesting. There's going to be definitely some interesting offseason episodes.
Yeah.
But also someone I want to acknowledge on the Rams, who I believe isn't getting enough acknowledgement, is Andrew Whitworth.
Whitworth. Okay, we could talk about Whitworth.
Let's talk about Whitworth. He's 40 years old at one of the most body demanding positions in the league, honestly. Is he left? He's a left tackle, I think, which is one of the hardest positions to play.
You're playing in the trenches, and you're 40 years old almost.
I mean, yeah, he's 40 years old.
He also played for the Bengals. So
that is true.
So
I mean, a surefire Hall of Famer. Whether or not he wins this, he's a surefire Hall of Famer.
And I feel like there's not a lot of talk about Andrew Whitworth.
There really isn't. That's why I wanted to mention him.
He's been in the league for what? Like 16 years?
Yeah.
16 years. And he's a 2-time All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler, and he's been consistent as well.
He has always been like a consistent starter. Yeah, you're right.
Like, he's always been an above average player, and sometimes he's been even like elite, I would say.
And I mean, two out of three of those All Pros were first team All Pros, which is absolutely insane. He honestly was mostly with the Bengals. He played with the Bengals until he was 35.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because you see from 2006 to 2011, which is a 6-year span, he never made a Pro Bowl. 2012 makes his first Pro Bowl. For another 2 years, doesn't make a Pro Bowl. So you have 8 years where he's made 1 Pro Bowl. And that's it. And then you have a span where he is 34 to 36 years old. And he is 2-time All-Pro. Or first-team All-Pro.
2-time first-team All-Pro. And actually, surprisingly enough, since the Pro Bowl literally doesn't matter, the year before, you could also include 2014 in that because he made the All-Pro next season also.
Oh, true.
But
and then something also just very interesting about his career is he has longevity like that you never see from a lot of players. You never see longevity.
Yeah, I mean, and with Tom Brady officially retiring, he is now officially the oldest. He's officially the oldest player.
Yeah, and the oldest quarterback is Fitzmagic, I'm pretty sure.
Probably, yeah.
But something interesting about Whitworth again is also that not only does he have that longevity I was talking about in his 16-year career, you would think a 16-year career would be someone who started their career young. But the guy came into the NFL at 25 years old.
Yeah.
So he really is like
that is strange.
Some weird breed of player. He is like some Cameron Wake type player.
Yeah.
Except longevity even more than Cameron Wake.
I see it. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good. It would be good to see him win a ring. I definitely think so. But against the Bengals, that's got to be another bittersweet moment. I feel like I've said that a lot, but it definitely makes sense in the context because
and is there anything else you want to talk about the Rams, like their overall team structure?
Yeah, one more thing. Von Miller. So Von Miller could very well, and I know this is kind of a bold prediction. Is it? I don't know. If there is one player on the Rams that I had to bet on, I had to just choose to win Super Bowl MVP before I saw anything of the game or anything, I'm going to choose Von Miller.
I was thinking the exact same thing. And let's actually give our Super Bowl MVPs right now before we get into the Bengals.
Well, before we give our Super Bowl MVPs, Ben, who's your Super Bowl team?
Yeah, I'm going with the Bengals.
Ooh, all right.
I'm going with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, one of the best offenses in the league this year. They've gotten hot when it matters, even before the playoffs a couple of weeks before. I think they're going to win this game. And honestly, I'll be rooting for them because I'm not a huge fan of Matthew Stafford.
I mean, yeah, I get it. And actually, I would honestly say these are the two best receiving cores in the leagues, maybe besides the Bucs.
Not anymore.
Maybe, not Bucs anymore.
They just have Chris. They don't even have Chris Godwin anymore.
Oh yeah, where do you
what
think
do you mean, Ethan? The Panthers exist.
Where do you think he's going? Godwin.
I don't know. We'll save it. That's for definitely.
I guess it's for another video. So, freaking Cincinnati Bengals. Or I guess my MVP would be Von Miller. Who would yours be for the Bengals? Who do you see?
Oh, who do I see on the Bengals for Super Bowl MVP? Wait, so you're going with Von Miller as your Super Bowl MVP? Not even like a surprise pick or anything? You're just going with him?
All right. Von Miller would be my Rams Super Bowl MVP. If the Bengals win the Super Bowl, I'm going to go ahead and say the Super Bowl MVP. Ooh. Honestly, I'll give you two players because I can't come down to one. Jesse Bates or T. Higgins.
I think you're overthinking it. It's going to be Joe Burrow if the Bengals win.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We have we're going to say a surprise picks. We're talking about just the actual picks right now.
No, because I think both of these QBs are throwing interceptions this game. Like maybe.
I mean, we've seen in the past that it favors quarterbacks though, just like most awards.
All right, but Jalen Ramsey takes out Jamar Chase. Let's just say that happens. Okay,
that's not. I don't think that's going to happen, but let's say that happens.
You don't think that's going to happen? You don't think?
I don't think he's going to be completely neutralized.
You don't think Jalen Ramsey could shut down Jamar Chase in the Super Bowl?
He could shut up. I don't think he's going to really be. I don't think he's really going to be neutralized. I think he's going to have at least 50 yards.
I don't think he's going to make I don't think he's going to have no receptions. Mm-hmm. But Jamar Chase is with Jalen Ramsey on him makes it very hard for him to win Super Bowl MVP. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
So that leaves Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford, who I both think are going to throw they could throw 4 combined interceptions.
What?
I that's how I see this game going.
Maybe if is that the type of game you see?
And that's why if I do see that game and the Bengals win, that's why Jesse Bates could definitely be it because I think Jesse Bates could honestly come down with 2.
All right, I get what you're saying now. Yeah. If I had to go with the MVPs for each team, this is tough. I mean, I'll start with the team I'm picking first, the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm still gonna have to give it to Joe Burrow, honestly.
All right, no, that's fair.
If the Bengals win this game. Not even just because of his stats, but I feel like they're just gonna give it to him because he's probably the most popular player in the league right now, for being honest. And I think even if he plays kind of well, even if he doesn't have the greatest game ever, if he leads his team to victory and he has a decent stat line to put up with it, I think they'll give the Super Bowl MVP to him just because, Yeah. But the Rams is definitely where it gets a lot more interesting because you look at all the star power. There's at least 5 players I could see winning.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. There's 5.
Stafford, Kupp, Von Miller, Aaron Donald, and Jalen Ramsey could all have a shot at winning it. And that's not even including the lesser known guys. Who knows? Sony Michel could have a great game for all we know.
Who knows? Another Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson could have the best.
I would cry if that happens. If Van Jefferson.
Well, because Super Bowl MVP isn't always just based off of how you play the entire.
Yeah, I know. Remember that Seattle player who won it a couple of years back?
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
You probably don't remember his name.
Yes, I do know what you're talking about because that's exactly what happens. If someone like Van Jefferson or something comes down with an unbelievable catch to win the game or something, he could win Super Bowl MVP.
I will literally cry. I will genuinely cry tears if that happens. If Van Jefferson wins.
Van Jefferson, yeah.
If you guys haven't figured out, I'm a Van Jefferson fan.
Yeah, Ben's always loved Van Jefferson since a young age.
Since I was 3 years old, even before he picked up a football.
Yeah,
I just always loved Van Jefferson. But in all seriousness, out of all that star power on the Rams, I gotta give it to just the best player, Aaron Donald. How great would that be?
Yeah, I'm thinking Bengals do whatever they can to try and block Aaron Donald, and that's why Von Miller would be mine. But obviously,
I could see that. I think it's definitely going to be someone on the D line because that Bengals O line cannot cover. Bengals O line cannot cover the Rams.
That's why I didn't say anybody like Kupp or Stafford because
and I just have to wait. Continue talking.
I'm sorry. I was saying I think Kupp out of any of the offensive players on the Rams actually has the best chance.
I agree with that too. And what I was saying before is, I forgot to mention this at the start of the episode, but we are actually currently tied in our total playoff predictions. And considering we're split on this, whoever wins the Super Bowl will decide who wins overall in the playoffs, like for the overall record wise. That's just a cool thing I found when I was looking through the picks.
We were both 7-5, right?
Yeah, we're both 7-5.
Ben and I, what he means, if you didn't understand, is we do game picks on our Instagram at Nano Blitz Podcast. And
no, we do them on the podcast.
Well, yeah, but you posted that the game pick, like you posted the graphic.
Yeah, because we couldn't do it 1 week.
Ben posted a graphic, is what I mean. He posted a graphic of that we were both 7-5 in our playoff predictions. So whoever would win the Super Bowl here would decide, since we're split, who would get the winning record out of the both of us.
Yeah, so very important game. Once again, just like the Cardinals game, my legacy is on the line.
I mean, me too. Because I'm the guy.
Especially
right now,
you. Yeah, you're the guy who's been saying the Rams all the way.
I am the guy who's been saying the Rams are going to go all the way. So if they don't go all the way, I might actually cry in front of Ben. Of course, I'll be with Ben on the Super Bowl.
It's still not as bad as your Super Bowl prediction getting eliminated in the first round.
This also is the third straight year where Ben and I have separate Super Bowl picks. We were split the first year that Ben and I made picks with each other.
Well, that wasn't on the podcast, but yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't on the podcast, before the podcast, but that would
be. Wait, who did you pick in that? No, we were the same on that.
Nah, you wanted the 49ers. You had the Niners and I had the Chiefs.
I did? All right. I'll trust you.
You had Niners. And then
I know last year we split.
Last year you had Bucks, I had Chiefs.
Yeah.
So right now we're also 1-1 in Super Bowl.
Oh, jeez.
This is a big.
Yeah. And I think that we've been talking about the overall game for enough, and it's time to actually talk about the other team.
Have we not talked about the Bengals yet?
No, we have not. I mean, we've obviously mentioned them and stuff, but let's just do like an in-depth overview of their team. I mean, obviously it all starts with the offense, the LSU connection, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. That's obviously the thing that's been carrying them through the playoffs, but you also can't overlook their other offensive weapons. And Joe Mixon, who's a solid, not a great running back, but I'd say a solid running back. And then
I don't get why you always say that. I feel like that's just because you have bad experiences with Joe Mixon. I do. Because Ben always chose Joe Mixon in fantasy, and then Joe Mixon does nothing. And then this year, Joe Mixon does something, and I just think Ben's salty about it. I think Joe Mixon
you might be right.
Is a pretty good running back. He's not just a.
I feel that way about Miles Sanders too, but I think that's a little more justified.
Yeah, I mean, Miles Sanders is like an okay running back.
Yeah, but I mean,
Joe Mixon's better than okay.
Maybe he's a little better. I wouldn't say he's great though.
I mean, you got to take his O-line into consideration a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
The first thing you look at, first thing you should look at if you're looking at a running back is yards per carry.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the most important.
Yards per carry is pretty much the only like running back stat that a running back can get. I mean, you got forced missed tackles and then a couple other weird ones.
Yards? What about just yards?
I mean, you could say that that's an offensive line stat. You could totally, because you could see the yards, but if you don't have like the force missed tackles or anything like that, then how are you supposed to even?
Then how is yards per carry any different?
Because yards per carry is how many? What? That makes no sense.
How is yards per carry not an O-line stat?
The same reason why force missed tackles is because it's the amount of yards per attempt, not the amount of yards total that are bundled throughout the year.
But it's just calculated. It's just calculated by the yards. So it's
I know. It's
really
yards. It's yards divided by attempts. I know.
But that could be an O-line stat too. If the O-line's really good, it creates a lot of separation for the running back to run through.
Yeah,
just yards in general is going to just an O-line stat. So how would yards per carry be any different?
All right. That's fair.
All right.
I mean, I don't know because it's not, because you look at it like Joe Mixon has a bad offensive line. He has a bad offensive line and he's averaging 4.1, which isn't anything amazing, but that's not bad. And his offensive line is. So you can definitely tell that that's Joe Mixon and not his offensive line.
I mean, I guess, but there's more advanced stats that I'm not quite sure the names of, to be honest, right now. But there's a lot of advanced stats.
There's some crazy stats. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, for advanced stats, there's some crazy ones. Like, if you really want to track that, you easily could find it.
Yeah, the next gen stuff.
Next gen stats are amazing.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, going back to the Bengals, as I was saying before, T. Higgins, definitely one of the most I mean, maybe not anymore, but he was one of the most underrated receivers in the league. 1,000-yard receiver being lined up against Jamar Chase, definitely a deadly offense. And then you look at their defense, Trey Hendrickson, who is definitely not a one-year wonder, like a lot of people were saying.
Oh yeah, big round of applause to Trey Hendrickson because
I'm really proud of him because at least 90%. I may have even said it too, honestly, on one of the episodes, but at least 90% of NFL fans were saying that he was a one-year wonder, a product of Cameron Jordan. Clearly, that's not the case.
I'm pretty sure you actually were advocating for him.
I think I actually was. I wasn't sure, but
I think you were.
I think you're right.
I think you were like, even towards the beginning of the year, you were like, Trey Hendrickson is legit. And I was like, yeah, probably.
Because if I see someone getting 15 sacks in a season, they're legit. Some people like to make up excuses.
I mean, but then is Robert Quinn legit?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Then that's fair. That's fair. Because people can argue about Robert, like real NFL fans, like people who really watch football can argue about Robert Quinn all day, probably.
In my perspective, if the production is there and it's not empty stats, you're an elite player.
Here's what I think of it at. Like, yeah. If sometimes, and this is rare, but sometimes you can argue, like, oh, these stats are like inflated or whatever. But in this case, if you're going to have if you're going to average over a sack a game, then I don't think there's any real reason why there should be any questions, especially because it's not like 2 years ago he didn't drop 11.5 sacks.
Yeah.
And then it's not like he's been he's been an all-pro before.
He's a good player.
We have seen this before with the Rams. I don't even know why we're talking about Robert Quinn right now.
I don't know. I kind of want to stop if I'm being honest.
Okay, we can stop.
This is kind of scaring me a bit.
We just get carried away. That's just what we do.
But yeah, Trey Hendrickson, as we were talking about, elite top 5 edge rusher probably. Jesse Bates, an elite safety, who's actually going to be a free agent this offseason. But their defense is led by 2 people, but then the rest is kind of, DJ Hill and DJ Reader have been a great D tackle duo. They've been really underrated.
And I also feel like the DBs on the Bengals, like just all of them.
Oh, Mike Hilton, their slot corner.
Mike Hilton.
I really liked watching him. I really loved his matchup against Hunter Renfrow in the wild card game. I thought that was a great matchup that was the matchup I was watching the entire game, and it did not disappoint. He's a great slot corner. He's a very niche player. You don't see a lot of great slot corners like him, but he's definitely at the top of his position if we were just basing it off the slot corners.
Yeah, Mike Hilton is a really good corner, and I think Von Bell is a really good complementary piece.
Oh yeah, Von Bell is a great player too.
Yeah, he's very well-rounded, which is something that I think balance is very important. So I think that Von Bell is kind of overlooked a lot. And then BJ Hill has been pretty good.
DJ Reader's been outstanding.
Yeah, DJ Reader.
I don't know how much you watched of him because it's kind of hard to watch D linemen sometimes, like D tackles.
No, I purposely watch O line, so I watch D line.
Oh, all right. Yeah, but DJ Reader has been outstanding. He gets to the quarterback, he stops the run. He more so stops the run, but he's pretty much the full package.
Yeah, and then you have Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt.
Logan Wilson's been good in the playoffs.
Yeah, they rack up tackles. I mean, they both have interceptions in the playoffs and tackles for loss in the playoffs. I mean, and they're top 5. Both of them are in top 5 for tackles in the playoffs. They both played really well in the playoffs.
And then you got
don't say it.
Rouzier,
okay.
Who's not a great corner.
You know what I thought you were gonna say?
What? I know you thought I was gonna say some weird pronunciation of his name.
No. I thought you were gonna say Eli Apple.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah, you know, but he's been all right. I think he's getting, for some reason, I don't know why people act like he's all good all of a sudden. He had like one good play and he also got burned a bunch of times.
Also,
so he's still not good.
This is one of those players that Ben and I can just hate on hard because he played for the Giants and he talked trash about the Giants. He played for the Panthers and he played for the Saints, so he was also a division rival to Ben.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, Eli Apple, he made a nice 4th down stop on Tyreek Hill on that play before half, but he got burned a couple times that game. He's still not a good corner. I don't know why he's talking all that smack. Like, seriously.
Yeah, he really is talking a lot of smack. For any people who don't know, Eli Apple is like being very controversial right now.
And then to round out the Bengals, how could we not talk about Evan Mcpherson?
Oh my gosh, this guy, I only knew about him I've known about him for a while.
I've known about him in college.
Yeah, because my dad is a huge Gators fan. So when Evan Mcpherson came into the league, I knew Evan Mcpherson was in the league. Did I know he would be one of the best kickers in the league?
Yeah.
I don't know. No.
I mean, I think he's made his past like 20. I don't think he's missed a kick in the playoffs yet. Like extra point or field goal, I don't think he's missed a kick yet.
No, I don't think he has either. And
he's just the definition. I don't know how to say it. He's just the definition of clutch. Like, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, he missed a total of 7 out of his, 80. He missed 7 out of his 81 attempts for both extra points and field goals. So that's total just kicks. Every time he was on the field, he missed 7 out of 81.
Yeah, definitely an outstanding player. It shows why teams should invest in the draft in a kicker, even if it's a later round. It obviously makes a difference. And who knows, he could end up winning the game for them again, just like he's done many times throughout the playoffs.
He very well could. I think that could be a way that I think that could be.
He's not going to win Super Bowl MVP.
No. But I think that could be the way that the Bengals do win because Evan McPherson.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot.
You gotta fear McPherson.
So yeah, that pretty much wraps our analysis on the Bengals. Before we end this episode, let's go over our picks one more time. You're obviously going with the Rams, the team you've picked throughout the year.
And I'm going with the Rams and Von Miller as my Super Bowl.
Von Miller is MVP. If the Bengals win, you said you're going with who is your MVP?
I think
Jesse
I'll go
Bates.
I think I'll go Bates, yeah.
And then I am going against him with the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm taking Joe Burrow, who has easily been the most on fire player the past month, at least probably 2 months. Because it was before the playoffs started.
You could say he's actually been the opposite of on fire. He's been cool.
It's a shame that nickname's already taken. Like the literal nickname is already taken.
What?
Joe Cool.
Oh, Joe Cool. Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
But now, what do people? But now people call him like Joe Shiesty, and
he has some of the most nicknames I've. Here's a stat line. He has some of the most nicknames I've ever
heard. That is definitely true.
But yeah, I'm going with the Bengals. Joe Burrow, Super Bowl MVP. If the Rams win, I'm still going to go with who I think is the best player in the league, Aaron Donald. And yeah, I am really excited for this game. Should be a great game. Probably a very close game considering how crazy these playoffs have been.
And probably a really good defensive game.
Yeah, I could see it.
I don't know.
It's hard to say that when Cooper Kupp and Jamar Chase are on the teams, though.
Oh, not even just them. Like these offenses are both.
Yeah, this isn't gonna be a repeat of Super Bowl 53. I don't think
this is. I mean, these are the two best teams in the league. I mean,
yeah.
So you can only just imagine. I mean, it's what the Super Bowl is. This is what it is. And
yeah, this is what the entire season has come down to.
And I'm just going to say this. I really cannot see this being a bad game.
Neither can I.
It's going to be a good Bengals like to keep it close. Rams like to keep it close. It's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a great game. Remember to check out the Instagram at NanoBlitz Podcast. We might be doing some special content for like Super Bowl day. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed. We hope you guys are going to enjoy watching this. This should be amazing Super Bowl. And yeah, see you guys after we know who wins the NFL season.
Wow. I mean, I'm sure if the game really comes down to the wire, maybe I'll record Ben and I's reaction to whatever happens. That could be fun. If you guys want to see that again, go to the Instagram and yeah, go Rams.
Go Bengals. See you guys.